Hey, what's up everyone? Today, I want to share with you how I was able to save a whopping $10,000 in just 6 months. And the best part is, it didn't require much effort at all. Now, before we get started, let me give you a little bit of context. About 9 months ago, I found myself in a pretty tight financial situation. I had just quit my job to pursue my passion for content creation full-time, and my savings were dwindling rapidly. I knew I had to make some serious changes if I wanted to stay afloat and achieve my long-term financial goals. That's when I decided to take a hard look at my spending habits and figure out where I could cut back. And let me tell you, the results were eye-opening. Step 1. Track your expenses. The first thing I did was start tracking every single penny I spent. I used a simple budgeting app on my phone, but you could also use a spreadsheet or even just a notebook and pen. The key here is to be diligent and record every expense, no matter how small. By doing this, I was able to identify a ton of areas where I was wasting money without even realizing it. Things like impulse purchases, eating out too often, and subscriptions I wasn't even using were draining my bank account. Step 2. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. Once I had a clear picture of where my money was going, it was time to start cutting back. And let me tell you, it was easier than I thought. I started by canceling all the subscriptions I wasn't using, which saved me around $50 a month right off the bat. Next, I made a commitment to cook at home more often and pack my lunch for work. This not only saved me money but also helped me eat healthier. I also started looking for ways to cut back on my utility bills. Simple things like turning off lights when I left a room, unplugging devices when they weren't in use, and adjusting my thermostat a few degrees made a big difference. Step 3. Find ways to make extra money. While cutting back on expenses was a huge part of my saving strategy, I also looked for ways to increase my income. I started doing freelance work on the side, which brought in an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. I also sold some of my old belongings that I no longer needed. You'd be surprised how much money you can make by decluttering your home and selling things on sites like eBay or Craigslist. Step 4. Automate your savings. One of the biggest keys to my success was automating my savings. I set up automatic transfers from my checking account to my savings account every month, so I never even had the chance to spend that money. I started small, transferring just $100 a month. But as I got better at cutting expenses and increasing my income, I gradually increased that amount until I was saving over $1,500 a month. Step 5. Stay motivated. Saving money can be a grind, and there were definitely times when I felt like giving up. But I stayed motivated by reminding myself of my long-term goals and the freedom that financial security would provide. I also celebrated small wins along the way. Every time I hit a new savings milestone, I treated myself to something small, like a nice dinner out or a new book. The results. So, how did all of this add up? Well, by the end of those 6 months, I had saved a total of $10,327. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. Not only did I have a solid financial cushion to fall back on, but I also developed some really healthy money habits that will serve me well for years to come. And the best part? It wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it would be. Sure, there were sacrifices and adjustments to make, but once I got into the groove, it became second nature. Final thoughts. So, there you have it, folks. That's how I was able to save $10,000 in just 6 months, with minimal effort. If I can do it, anyone can. The key is to start small, be diligent, and stay motivated. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is financial security. But if you're willing to put in the work, the rewards are more than worth it. So, what are you waiting for? Start tracking your expenses, cutting back on unnecessary costs, and increasing your income. And before you know it, you'll be well on your way to financial freedom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.